Hello, everybody, and welcome. Today's Wednesday, February 17th, 2021, and this is a stream I did not plan. I came across some content that was so troubling and so disturbing to me, I just had to bring it to you right away. So for those of you on my mailing list, I'm sorry I didn't send you a notification. So I'm going to give it just a few seconds for folks to get here, and we will get started, okay? Hi, everybody. As you fill into the room, I'm just giving it just a few seconds to fill in, and then we will get started right away because mm, mm. Sorry about that, Dorian. I didn't mean to do all caps. I'm just so worked up. I can't even type. So hello to everyone who's in the chat. Thank you. Welcome. And I see that they're already here. So to my moderators, let them be. Let them be. I haven't even said a word. I haven't said one word. And you see they're already here, right? So wait till you hear what I actually have to say. That's really going to ruffle your feathers. So let me go ahead and get right to it, you guys. I came across some very disturbing content. I've always sort of kind of known who Jordan Peterson was, but anytime I've attempted to watch any of his videos, I can't make it through the first 5 minutes for multiple reasons, one of which is kind of mean. And I'm not here to be mean tonight. I'm actually here to be educational. But the other of which is there's always something he says that's so profoundly disturbing, I just click off the video. And I don't know this for a fact. So this is based off memory, and I'm not stating this to be fact, but I do believe he's also like heavily misogynistic, if I'm not mistaken. Now, again, that's based off of memory, not fact. So I would have to fact check that. I'm not putting that forth as a fact. This is me combing through my mind going, what do I remember about this guy from the little few seconds of videos of his that I can actually watch? Okay. So again, to my mods, as you fill in, hello and welcome. Let them be, because they're going to lose it. And y'all see what I mean? Like, literally haven't said anything. And they're already here. All right, let me get to the point here, guys. First, for those who just don't know who Jordan Peterson is, I'm going to do a brief Wikipedia on him, just so we're all on the same page, okay? Because again, I don't follow him. I don't follow his content, his philosophies. I know he's controversial. I know he's highly problematic, but I've never actually taken the time to really listen. Again, for multiple reasons, the only one of which I'll share is I hear something and it makes me upset. And because I can't really respond, I just click off. I'm like, whatever. I don't feel like you're the most mentally sound person on planet Earth. And that's just my opinion. And you'll see why I say that in a minute. But here's his wiki. Jordan Burnt Peterson is a Canadian YouTube personality, clinical psychologist, and a professor of psychology at the University of Toronto. He began to receive widespread attention in the late 2010s for his views on cultural and political issues. Born and raised in Alberta, Peterson obtained bachelor's degrees in political science and psychology from the University of Alberta and a PhD in clinical psychology from McGill University. After teaching and research at Harvard University, he returned to Canada in 1998 to join the Faculty of Psychology at the University of Toronto. In 1999, he published his first book, Maps of Meaning, The Architecture of Belief, which became the basis for many of his subsequent lectures. The book combined information from psychology, mythology, religion, literature, philosophy, neuroscience to analyze systems of belief and meaning. Oh, it makes me want to do a Stefan impersonation. He does psychology, mythology, religion. There's going to be literature, philosophy, neuroscience, belief. Oh, we've got it all. In 2016, Peterson released a series of YouTube videos criticizing the Act to amend the Canadian Human Rights Act and the Criminal Code, Bill C-16, passed by the Parliament of Canada to introduce gender identity and expression as a prohibited grounds of discrimination. He argued that the bill would make the use of certain gender pronouns into compelled speech and related this argument to a general critique of political correctness and identity politics. Now I'm starting to remember. Yep. He subsequently received significant media coverage, attracting both support and criticism. Peterson's lectures and debates, propagated also through podcasts and YouTube, gradually gathered millions of views. He put his clinical practice and teaching duties on hold by 2018 when he published his second book, 12 Rules for Life, An Anecdote to Chaos. Promoted with a world tour, it became a bestseller in several countries, okay? So that's just for everyone who doesn't really know who he is or maybe didn't even know his background. I didn't know his background. I didn't realize he was a psychologist. And that's actually even scarier. I was going to title this live stream. Wow. Ooh, Freudian slip. Wow. I was going to title this live stream, Jordan Peterson Scares Me. But YouTube is such a delicate and sensitive place that they probably would have interpreted that as me like being mean and picking on him by saying that he scares me, but he does scare me. He frightens me. As a matter of fact, hold on, y'all. Let me do something real quick. Give me one sec. It didn't work. Dang. Hold on. I have to do this. I'll tell y'all what I'm doing and why I stopped the whole show to do this. I'll tell you later, though. I'll tell you on another day, actually, altogether. It's just something I'm trying to get in the habit of doing now. Okay, we're good. Okay, continuing on. So, and as always, I've forgotten where I was and what I was saying, of course, but that's okay. We'll continue on. So that's his background. That's who he is. And he has caused a lot of controversy. It shut down all my windows. Are you kidding me? No problem. It's no problem. We can pivot. We're all about pivoting here. Boom. Let's go here. Well, welcome everybody while I'm getting my act back together. Sorry about that. It was something I should have started when the show first started, and I just forgot to do it. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. We're back. We're back in action. We're back in the fold. Boom. Okay. So the reason I would even take the time to focus on this individual is because the ideas that he is expressing and putting forward are very, very dangerous. And I am surprised YouTube lets these ideas stay up, because YouTube is very sensitive about certain topics that I can't even say because it's going to trigger the algorithm to flag the video and review it just for me saying the words. But the words that I'm trying to say have to do with when a person is using their dominance to push someone else around, if that makes sense. It happens a lot in schools. You hear me talk about it a lot, and I say, y'all need to end all of those programs and get the adults together. You see what I mean? So end all of these particular programs in school and get the adults together. And then once the adults have their acts together, you can put these programs back in the school. I literally can't say it, you guys, because it's just that sensitive, and they don't take context into consideration. Context is not considered at all. So anyway, he is advocating for that, though. In this video that I'm getting ready to show you, if you're not disturbed by the end of it, something is indeed wrong with you, and I want you to seek extensive help, okay? In this video that we're getting ready to watch, called How to Develop a Thick Skin and Become Mentally Tough, Jordan is sitting down talking to a guy who I actually did a video on already. There's a video on my channel called Learning How to Lie. And what did that guy, I'm trying to remember. It was just on the tip of my tongue. He was like, he was just talking about how he was like, you got to play the game. And he said it like that. He's like, play the game. You got to play the game. Like creepy. Like, ooh, like it gives me shudders just thinking about it. And the point of that video is that he was basically teaching people how to lie, how to be fake, how to be phony, how to quote unquote play the game in order to get ahead, how to manipulate, basically. It's really sick stuff. It's high level, psychologically sick stuff. It really is, which is why I did a video on it. So I stumbled across this and I put it on my watch later playlist. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try. I'm going to try to give Jordan Peterson a try because he's very popular. So maybe he actually really has a message, Maybe. Let me try, because to truly be a critical thinker and to truly be someone who can critique, you have to be able to hear it. You have to be able to listen to it, because in not listening to it, that's what makes people ignorant. You see what I mean? So if you're arguing with someone and they haven't heard out the whole story, well, they're ignorant. They're arguing from an ignorant perspective. So I was like, all right, PT, you can do this. I know you don't like him. You don't really remember why, but you don't care for this guy. But let's see what he has to say. Maybe he has something usable. And boy, does he ever, just not in the way that they intended. Okay. So this video is 10 minutes long, and we are going to watch the whole thing. I am sorry for doing that to you. However, there is no other way to deliver this content to you. If you want to watch it on your own and maybe come back to the live stream 10 minutes from now, feel free. But we are going to actually go through it again. So it's going to be a back-to-back, okay? And the reason I do that is to give you all an opportunity to listen to it first, hear things first, come to your own conclusions first, and then I'm going to go through with my analysis. This video gives me the creeps, you guys. It creeps me out. I'm so creeped out. So creeped out. And I mean it when I say he needs to be deplatformed, because look at what you are encouraging other people to do and think and be in our society that's already so messed up. We don't need this. We don't need any more people acting like what we're getting ready to see. All right. So hold on to your seatbelts. I'm not going to turn on the closed captions because they actually caption the screen itself. So the captions are already on the video. So let's take a look. We're going to watch this together, and then I'm going to go through and critique it, okay? Yeah, YouTube keeps recommending him. This is not a well person, in my opinion, and I cannot diagnose anyone, but this is not stuff that needs to be out on YouTube. Like, if you want to see this, you need to go pay for it, because it's teaching you how to become a monster. You'll see. You'll see. All right. So we're full screen. I'm going to kind of sit back. If there's background noise, sorry, I have pets. But let's watch this together first, and then I'll critique, okay? Let's go.
And it's a critique in some sense also of the idea of the patriarchy. Because the patriarchy is this oppressive hierarchy that everyone's embedded in. And, the social constructionist, social justice warrior, postmodernist types think about that as a social construction. It's like, how about no? That's just wrong. Lobsters have hierarchies. That's 1/3 of a billion years ago. Okay, that's not a social construction. It's part of being itself.
I'm sorry,
and
y'all.
if you only see a hierarchy as...
This is the part. Hold on.
And then...
You don't have a bar.
They're a rough guy.
Okay, I apologize. Let me just start it over because I don't remember this part. I guess my brain got too scrambled halfway through. I apologize. Let me start it over and I won't touch anything. The part I want you to see is down here. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry. Starting over, I'm just going to step away from the computer.
And it's a critique in some sense also of the idea of the patriarchy. Because the patriarchy is this dominant, oppressive hierarchy that everyone's embedded in. And, the social constructionist, social justice warrior, postmodernist types think about that as a social construction. It's like, how about no? That's just wrong. Lobsters have hierarchies. That's 1/3 of a billion years ago. Okay, that's not a social construction. It's part of being itself. And if you only see a hierarchy as power and tyranny, then you're looking at the world wrong. Like, it's true that hierarchies can be tyrannical and dominant. Mm-hmm. And a degenerated hierarchy is nothing but tyranny. But in a functional society, the hierarchy is actually the structure of the society, and you're actually protected within it. Well, then how you relate to that hierarchy is very important, but that's part of personal development. That's part of standing upright, and then people in the hierarchy think, oh, well, you're someone who could do good things for the hierarchy. Let's promote you.
Yeah.
Like men don't struggle for power. That isn't what men do. Not if they're civilized. They size each other up and elect the competent to lead them. And they do that at every level of society. Like I tell a story in there about, might be later in another chapter, it doesn't matter. I worked in a rail crew in southern Saskatchewan. They're rough guys, like a lot of them have been in prison, And when you first came onto the rail crew, you got a stupid nickname and people teased you. And I remember this one kid called Lunch Bucket. That was his nickname because he came to the rail crew with a lunch bucket that looked like his mom had packed it. That was a bad idea. Mm-hmm. You bring your damn lunch in kind of a ratty paper bag. Right. Don't make too big a thing out of it.
And it's dirty and smelly.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like, pronouncing your status with your lunch bucket.
You don't have a Barbie.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. So they named him Lunch Bucket, which he wasn't very happy about. Yeah. Well, that was a mistake. He should have taken it with a smile. And then he was always peevish and irritable. And if you asked him to do something, he'd whine. And so, this was soon after I joined the rail crew. Well, soon, there's about 60 men on this crew. It stretched out about a quarter of a mile down the tracks. Soon, anonymous harassers were throwing pebbles at him during work. We had hard hats on, so the game was, let's see if we can hit that lunch bucket in the hard hat with a pebble.
Anonymous.
Yeah, well, because you don't know where it's coming from. Yeah. And then that was purposeful because he couldn't take a joke. It's like, well, let's see if he can take this joke. Clunk, and everybody go, And then he just got more and more peevish, and the pebbles got bigger and bigger. And, a week later, Lunch Bucket was gone, having not learned anything from the experience. But, the men were testing him out. It's like, can you take a joke? Can you be useful? Can you at least be amusing? Like, is there something worthwhile about you? It's like, no. It's like, okay, well then you're out of here because you never know when we actually might need you to handle it.
It's a fact. In the new economy, average people are becoming millionaires faster and easier than ever before. But
lies. Go ahead.
The nicknames that are in the SEAL teams, like I can't with good conscience repeat them.
I'm sure that's
because
true.
they're just horrible names. Yeah. But there's a camaraderie around that, and there's also, as I was reading what you'd written about these guys working on a railway
crew. Yeah.
There's a test. It's a test. It's a test to see where you're at. It's what you're made of.
Right. Can we rely on you? Can you tolerate a little bit of irritation? If the answer to that is no, it's like, well, maybe we don't want you around then, because some irritating things are likely to come down the pipe.
Yeah, and it's not just to me it proves if you've got someone that can take it, right? It's not just that they can take some random joking insults. Like they can
take it.
They can take it.
Yeah, that's what you're tested for. It's like, can you take it? Lunch bucket couldn't, right? Because people would laugh at his lunch bucket and he'd get all upset. It's like, well, you have a stupid lunch bucket. It's like, your mom packed it. How about you laugh at yourself? Yeah, my mom packed this. I know it's kind of stupid. That would be the end of it. He would have just had to say that. Yeah. It's like, but I didn't want to hurt her feelings. It's like, oh, okay, fine, you got your stupid lunch bucket. But no, he couldn't handle that. So yeah, it was horrible and comical to watch at the same time, because the level of people have written about that and they said, oh, poor lunch bucket. It's like, because they're all compassionate. I think, no, not poor lunch bucket. It's like, clue the hell in, buddy. You had your chance. That was a desirable job, that rail crew job in the summer, because it was high paying, and they weren't easy to come by, those jobs. And so the fact that he got hired onto that crew was a real opportunity for him. You could make a pile of money in the summer working on the rail crew. And all you had to do was take some ribbing with good grace, not suck up to the management too badly, and not have other people do your job. That was all. That was all you had to do. But he couldn't do that, and so he got run off. And it was like, grow the hell up, buddy. These guys, when 100 people are teasing you, then probably they're not wrong.
Yeah, when you are getting teased like that as well, when you stop reacting, it's no longer fun.
Yeah. Well, it also gives you an opportunity to tease back. It's like, you can show your wit. And one of the things that working class guys in particular, which is one of the things I really loved about working class jobs, is that they're always looking for some humor. So it's like, if person A is teasing person B, that's kind of comical. But if person B comes back with a good comeback, it's like, that's even better, So I think that's a lot of how those jobs are rendered tolerable, right? It's they're hard, dirty job. Right? Dishwasher is a good example of that. It's not dangerous. Although cooking is you gotta watch your step. I got burnt a lot when I was cooking. But what makes those jobs not only tolerable, but even desirable, is that you can develop a tremendous amount of camaraderie around them. I've never really experienced that at a professional level job. That just doesn't happen the same way. And there's a real loss in that. So it's fun to be part of a team that's doing, grubby, hands-on things and having a ridiculously entertaining, vicious, cruel, and evil time while you're doing it. That's very entertaining. I had an experience with that about 3 years ago. I put my videos up online and people kept saying that I sounded like Kermit.
Oh, shit.
Well, one person said it and I thought, well, whatever. But then like 5 people said it and I thought, oh my God, like this Kermit thing. So then I went and listened to Kermit and I thought, oh God. It's like really, I really sound like Kermit, And so then I started to play with it a little bit. I used the puppet.
Oh God!
When I went to speak to university students, and I made frog jokes, and then I made a couple of videos that sort of featured me as a frog. And I mean, it's crazy, right? It's ridiculous, but the teasing never got mean because of that, And the same things happened online to a larger degree as people keep making memes of me. Like, and there's lots of them. There's way too many to even keep track of. And I was watching that happen and I thought, okay, this is a good thing because there's humor. And wherever there's humor, that's a good thing. And they're making fun of me, but it's gentle. Most of it was pokey. Like, well, you sound like this damn puppet. What do you think of that? It's like, well, if I had to pick someone to sound like, it probably wouldn't be a puppet. But if it had to be a puppet, Kermit's not a bad one. It could be a lot worse. Like, it could be Miss Piggy. It could have been that, so thank God that didn't happen.
I think we're about done here.
It never got vicious because, I'll post them if they're funny and satirical. And then they won't get vicious because they don't have to. It's like, can we poke fun at you? It's like, yeah, please do. And the more the better, really, because that'll also help keep my feet on the ground and keep me awake. And plus, it's funny. And like, one of the things about life is that a sense of humor, that's a good thing to arm yourself with, because sometimes you just don't have anything other than that.
All right, great. So listen, I hadn't actually finished the video because I couldn't. Let's see what happens after this ad. Honey, I did not know they told him he sounded like Kermit. Oh my God.
And you never need to pick up a camera or use any fancy editing software.
Oh, what else? Come on. Let me speed this thing up.
If you're going to face a threat, if you face it voluntarily, what happens is your body activates itself for exploration and mastery. But if you face it involuntarily, same size threat, then you revert to prey.
Okay, listen. The part that we're talking about, I don't care about any of this, honey. The part that we're talking about is lunch bucket. Okay. This is what we're focused on. For those of you who keep perpetually asking in the chat, why does he need to be deplatformed? Why does he need to be blah, blah, blah? Would you wait? I told you the format of the show when we first started. I said, we're going to watch it together. Then we're going to go through it and I'm going to give my commentary. You think I'm going to give you all my points in the chat? It's not why we're here. We're here to talk about his treatment of this person, Lunch Bucket, and everything that he said associated with this. Some of you already caught it. I saw in the chat. Y'all, this is absolutely horrific. So the high level summary is some new guy started at the job, the narcissistic safe haven. And to me, the way I interpret it is that he was minding his own business, really. You know what I mean? And so they decided that they didn't like that and they wanted his attention. So the way they decided to go about it was making fun of his lunchbox, of all things, right? So when he didn't react to that, they upped the ante and start throwing rocks at this man's helmet and made a game out of it. And then he had the audacity, we're going to go through this again line by line, but then he had the audacity to say, you know, oh, come on, if you can't take a joke, that means you can't deal with other things. No, darling, that's not what the workplace is for. And it makes me wonder how many of you all believe this, how many of you are actually out here harassing people because you feel like, come on, you need to be able to take a ribbing. I don't need to be able to do anything other than what these people hired me to do. I don't have to interact with you. Maybe people would interact with you if you didn't violate their consent and try to force their interaction. Oh, we have so much to talk about in this video. I don't know where you people came from, but I see you all in the chat. Hello and welcome. Hi. So there's a phrase that came up a couple of months ago, and it's I forgot what show or what topic it was behind, but I was like, it's crazy to me that people are weirding out over this topic. And someone commented, yeah, because you're talking about their pet demon. So in other words, it's all good until I talk about your pet demon. Then you get furious with me. So I don't know who you guys are. I've never seen half of the names that are popping up in here. Other than, of course, my day ones and my mods and stuff. I don't know who you guys are. You don't comment on videos, but I come to talk about your daddy and you're mad over here in my chat. I don't know where, but this is what I was talking about on my other channel, y'all. This is what I mean. Before I even started the show, they were over here. Like sonar, bees to honey, man. But whatever, you need to stay put because I need to deprogram you. So go ahead and park because we need to have a very long conversation, okay? I wasn't even going to do a show tonight. I had other things to do, but this is too important to me. And somebody somewhere else, I think it was on my other channel, said, and they phrased it perfectly, so I'm paraphrasing, but they basically said, PTE, there is so much going out that it needs to be combated. People have to combat it. So they're basically encouraging me and telling me to keep going because somebody has to counteract this stuff, man. If no one is willing to challenge it and show the error of it, then it will perpetuate in our society. And then we keep asking questions like, why has narcissism grown in our society? Why? You see what I mean? Stuff like this, people respect this man because he's a professor, he's a psychologist, he's worked at Harvard, you know what I mean? He's a published author. So people think that gives him all this credibility. But my job is to teach you how to really critique an idea and really listen to what's being said to you. Y'all just eat it, eat it, eat it. This is why these people are always scamming you the way that they are, because you don't think critically about anything. You almost deserve to be scammed. Almost. My compassionate side feels sorry for you, but you really actually almost deserve to be scammed because you don't think critically about anything. Y'all made this man a millionaire. And as someone said in the chat, he's a pro bully. So let's go. Where does this madness start? And this guy, y'all need to at FBI, LOL at FBI. Where does this lunch pail story start?
Mom and Dad, that was a bad idea.
Like, I can't even. Hold on, back it up. And the way it started, like, what was he even talking about? The video started off so random that I thought I had the wrong video. That's why I paused. But it wasn't. This is gaslighting. Really, the first part of this is just pure gaslighting. What are you talking about, boy? And then he goes into the story about Lunch Bucket.
Might be later in another chapter. It doesn't matter. I worked in a rail crew.
Okay, here we're starting. So he's starting with the story of how he worked in a rail crew in southern Saskatchewan. Yeah.
Yeah, they're rough guys. Like living in prison. You know?
They're rough guys. A lot of them had been in prison. So you want me to play nice with ex-cons. You're mad at me because I don't get along with the ex-cons. So I wonder if the guy that they were picking on was not an ex-con. I would almost guarantee you that he didn't have a record. And that's probably why they were bothering him. But let's continue. A lot of them have been in prison. All right, Jordan.
And when you first came onto the rail crew, you got a stupid nickname. People teased.
When you first came onto the rail crew, you got a stupid nickname and people teased you. So he's saying it like it's par for the course. Like this is the culture. So this is the corporate culture on this particular rail crew. And apparently everyone is fine with it, including upper management, because apparently this is like a thing. All right. So problem number one, you're not calling me by my name. It's not my name. This is work. We're not friends like that yet. You understand? These things take time. Nicknames take time. It takes me forever to give people nicknames. Nicknames are something that come from love, really. You don't love me. I just got here. Let's continue. I wish he had given the year that this was. I wish he had told us what year this was. This is why this man is so problematic. Let's go.
And I remember this one kid called Lunch Bucket. That was his nickname because he came to the rail crew with a lunch bucket that looked like his mom.
So they gave him the nickname Lunch Bucket because he came to the rail crew with a lunch bucket that looked like his mom had packed it. First of all, why are you over here all on my food? Keep your eyes on your food. Why are you over here all on my food? Why are you worried about what I'm eating, how I'm eating it, how it looks? You see what I mean? You're worried about the wrong thing. You need to be worried about those rails. That's what you need to be worried about. But let's continue. Oh, it gets worse from here. And it's just like, that's so bizarre to me. He came with a lunch bucket that looked like his mom had packed it. Like, is there like a mom style? I just, so they're turned off by what order? Was it like an orderly lunchbox? A sandwich was in a bag, the chips were in the bag, carrot sticks, what? So you're just so turned off by order. Like, oh, I'm so repulsed right now. I'm repulsed in every way. You're turned off by order. You're turned off by decency. You're turned off by people who have a little bit of pride about themselves. So what? He didn't eat out of what? So what were y'all eating out of? So if y'all were picking on him because his lunch bucket looks like his mom packed it, what were you eating out of? Grocery bags? Convenience store bags? Just some slop that you threw in the bottom of a jar and put a lid on it and brought it to work? Is that what you're eating? Slop, gruel, you're eating gruel. And you're jealous that somebody actually cares about the food that's going into their mouth and their body. Is that what it is? Like, what a bizarre thing to bother somebody about. That's so strange. You see what I mean? But do let us continue. Hold on, I'm checking something real quick. Welcome, mods. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to resist the urge, but just let them go. Y'all are all the same. I already know who you voted for. Isn't that funny? All you Peterson fans, I already know who you voted for. Without even knowing you and having just met you, I know who you voted for. Because of how you're acting in the chat. You're all irrational in the same way. And these people teach you how to be irrational. This is not rational, but we're going to continue. And this happens at school. So why is this okay at the adult level when we're trying to combat and counteract this type of behavior in our society, period, but especially in the schools? But at the adult level, he's like approving it. He's like, come on, we're just the guys. We're just razzing you. We're making fun of you because you got this lunch bucket that looks like your mom packed it. How do you know his mother didn't pass away? And maybe that is the lunch bucket that he had as a kid. And he just carries it because it reminds him of her. You don't know. You don't know. You don't. But let's continue. Oh, I have so much to say.
That was a bad idea. You bring your damn lunch in kind of a...
Oh, he told us. So you see how he's trying to control how other people live their lives. You see what I mean? He's trying to control how you bring your lunch to work. You didn't do it right. You're supposed to bring your lunch in kind of a ratty paper bag. You see what I mean? Trashy, low class, low brow. You like that. And when someone's not like you, you pick on them. You're all narcs, all of you. You, all the ex-cons and everybody else. You're all narcissists if you think that this is okay. If this happened to your 5-year-old at school, you'd march yourself up to the school. You'd want to speak to the principal and you want to speak to the teacher who let that happen. Don't you pick on my son. Yes, I packed his lunchbox and that's okay. He can have that lunchbox just like they can have their paper bag. I'm not picking on your paper bag. So why are you talking about my lunchbox? Because you're jealous. You people are psychotic. Let's keep going.
Ratty paper bag. Right? Don't make too big a thing out of it.
Don't make too big a thing out of it. Like, you cannot tell me how to eat. This is what my whole entire channel is about. You cannot dictate to me how to live my life like this. This is my food, my body. I can eat it however I want to. If I want to bring it in a lunchbox, I will. If I want to bring it in a paper bag, I will. Why are you worried about it? You see how invasive they are? You see how they're all on you? All over you. As soon as you walk in the door, from head to toe, all over you, analyzing you, looking for something. Gotta find something. Oh, look at her lunchbox. You see her let's pick on our lunchbox. Ha, ha, ha. Look at your lunchbox. Like, y'all are weirdos, man. Narcissists are weirdos. This is why I avoid you like the plague. As soon as I identify a narc, I distance myself as far away as the sun is from the moon, honey. I try to get far away from you into another galaxy if I can, because you people are weird. I try not to let you in my house because you do the same thing in our houses. You're looking around, analyzing. Oh, there's something I can point out. You're weird. You make people very uncomfortable, but it gets worse. Let's keep going.
It's dirty and smelly.
That's exactly right. It's like, pronouncing your status with your lunch bucket.
He wasn't pronouncing his status with his lunch bucket. You were. You were the one pronouncing his status with his lunch bucket. I'm sure he gave it no thought whatsoever. In his world, he probably never thought in a million years his lunch bucket would be the focus of attention at work. Like, that's probably something he would never think about in a million years. I'm trying to think of something else that's kind of mundane like that. That's almost like your keychain. Like, you have an unusual keychain, and so they start calling you keychain, and you're like, what? Keychain? They're like, yeah, haha, because look at your keychain. You're like, my keychain? Are you serious? Like, I've dealt with you people before. I know you very well. And I am so glad I actually came across this video and stomached it through this part, because I'm glad we're doing this video right now. Because even though y'all are in here and call yourself going off on me, you're still here, which means you're listening. You need to be deprogrammed and he needs to be deplatformed, because he's encouraging this behavior towards your fathers. So those of you who have dads who have blue collar jobs, your dads are going to work dealing with this. Some of your grandfathers who are still working are going to work dealing with this. I did a whole video called Men Need Permission to Exist More Than Anything Else. And this is what I was talking about. This is precisely what I was talking about. I said men need permission to exist more than anything else. And here's why. Because y'all think this is normal and okay, and it's not. And he said, you don't come to work pronouncing your status with the lunchbox. If you feel like someone's status is pronounced with a lunchbox, you need to analyze where you are in life, because you feel threatened by a lunchbox. You feel like he's better than you because of his lunch pail. So that means you must feel very, very, very small for a lunchbox to intimidate you. So it's no wonder things like hair, height, whatever, intimidate you to the point where you can't even focus on work. You focus on a lunchbox and you feel intimidated. So if someone comes in that beats you in any category that matters to you at all, like maybe you're starting to feel self-conscious about your wrinkles and you don't feel like you should have wrinkles yet for your age, then you meet someone else your same age and the new hire, same age, no wrinkles. Now you're fixated on the fact that they don't have wrinkles like you do. You need help. I'm going to put a link in the description box when this show is over for you all to explore some additional help outside of Jordan Peterson, because you need it. You do. Based on what I'm seeing in these comments, you need it. Okay, let's keep going. He said, you don't have a Barbie lunchbox. Well, did he have a Barbie lunchbox? I don't think he did, because if so, you would have said that. You would have said there was this guy who started, and on the first day of work, he brought a Barbie lunchbox to school, to work. It wasn't a Barbie lunchbox. Apparently, it was just a lunch, some type of lunch pail that wasn't a ratty, soiled, oiled up paper bag. Maybe he wanted to take his leftovers home. You don't know. And you have no right to even analyze that, really. That's not your business. It's none of your business. You narcissists cannot stay out of other people's business. You're busybodies to the nth degree. Let's keep going.
Barbie, lunchbox.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
So they named him Lunch Bucket, which he wasn't very happy about.
Yeah.
Well, that was a mistake. He should.
And let's talk about that. They say they named him Lunch Bucket, which he wasn't very happy about. So let's talk about that. What if this is a person who's dealt with bullying all throughout school, finally gets out of school, becomes an adult, gets a job, you know what I mean? Just how y'all like it. And first day at work, he's dealing with the same thing at work with these supposed to be grown men. Now, y'all are supposed to be grown men. You're always walking around talking about how superior you are. Superior this, superior that, dominant this, dominant that. But you can't even stop yourself from teasing somebody about their lunch bucket. Like you're 4 years old. But anyway, he shows up to a workplace where he believes other adults are, and he's greeted with nicknames and teasing and then eventually physical harassment because he didn't partake in this. So who's immature? Who's the inferior one? You can't even get a grip over a lunch bucket. What was your name, Jordan? What was your nickname, hon? Oh, he said Kermit. Y'all, ooh.
Could have taken it with a smile. And then
He should have taken it with a smile. In other words, you need to accept what I do to you. What I do to you is okay. I've deemed it okay. Anything I decide to do to you, I've determined is okay. And you need to take it with a smile. And if you don't, then I'm going to turn up the heat on you for not taking it with a smile. Y'all, this is narcissism in action. This is narc logic 101. This is one of the purest examples I think I've ever found. Let's keep going. And then he's about to say this, but he says, and then he was always peevish and irritable. Yeah, I bet. Because he's got to go to work and deal with the equivalent of prepubescent teenagers. At work, he's a grown man like you're supposed to be. Half of y'all are ex-cons, according to Jordan. So you should be real focused on your job. You need to be real thankful for your job and focused and leaving people alone, because not leaving people alone is what made you an ex-con in the first place. So here's this grown adult male going to work thinking he's going to be greeted with other grown adult men, and he's greeted with teenagers. Of course, he's peevish and irritable. Plus, you don't know what else he's dealing with. If he's working, that means he's paying for something, probably a family, a wife and children, a house, probably. He doesn't have time for this. See, some of us are actually adults. We don't have time for this. We don't come to work for this. We come to work because we are adults with real responsibilities and real bills. It's not our fault that you don't have a real life to tend to.
was always peevish and irritable. And if you asked him to do something, he'd whine. And so
now the only thing is, like, if you asked him to do something, he'd whine. Now, if it's actually part of his job and he's whining, yes, that is a problem. But that is completely separate from the fact that on day one, y'all started really, truly harassing this man. But if his boss is asking him to do, and note what I said. Did you hear what I said? If his boss is asking him to do something and he's whining about it, Well, yeah, that's a problem. He probably needs to go. If he's like, oh, I don't feel like working the rail. It's like, well, we hired you to work the rail. That's a problem. Okay. To you Jordan fans in the chat, do you see how I'm able to pick out things and approve what is approvable and condemn what is condemnable? See, y'all can't do that. You all have the tendency to accept it all. You eat the whole plate. You clean the plate. You lick the plate clean, actually. Meanwhile, I'm over here with my fork and my knife, discerning between each bite. So if he really was whining on the job when asked to do something that was part of his job, yeah, that's a problem. But that's totally separate from y'all harassing this man. So let's go.
Like, this was soon after I joined the rail crew. Well, soon, there's about 60 men on this crew, stretched out about a quarter of a mile down the tracks. Soon, anonymous harassers were throwing pebbles. So you guys actually started to gang stalk this man. You ganged up on him. You're a cult, and he was your scapegoat, basically. The black sheep, the scapegoat, the new target, basically. So I assume what happens is you get a new recruit, he comes in, you harass him until he quits, and then y'all are bored, basically, until you get another new recruit who's totally clueless as far as to what they're walking into. No clue as to what they're walking into. Okay? So soon, anonymous harassers were throwing pebbles. Where were the managers? Where was management? Management? Were throwing pebbles at him during work. We had hard hats on, so the game was, let's see if we can hit a lunch bucket in the hard hat with a pebble.
So the game was, let's see if we can hit lunch bucket in the hard hat with a pebble. Lunch bucket, a grown adult male, probably with responsibilities of his own, here working with supposed to be a bunch of other grown adult men, having to endure pebbles being thrown at his head as he walks around the construction site. I'm so curious what race Lunch Bucket was. Let's move on.
Anonymous. Yeah, well, because you don't know where it's coming from. And that was purposeful.
Oh, so it was psychological. So he's walking around, he's getting hit in the head with pebbles, and he doesn't know where it's coming from. Hold on, what did he just say?
Pebble. Anonymous. Yeah, well, because you don't know where it's...
Yeah, well, because you don't know where it's coming from.
And that was purposeful.
And that was purposeful. So not only are you antagonizing him with the nickname and picking on the way he manages his food, which maybe he might. How do you know he doesn't have a medical condition where he needs to keep his food a certain temperature throughout the day? You don't know that. You don't know that. All kinds of men have all kinds of medical conditions, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart issues, heart murmurs, you name it. Men have all kinds of medical issues that they like to kind of suppress, but they still have to manage it. So how do you know he didn't have like what are they called? The little freezer packs to keep something cool for him so he could consume it later? You don't know. And that's the whole point. You're very presumptuous. You always have been, narcissists, that is. So then you up the ante and you take it to a psychological level, and you have different people from all around throwing rocks at his helmet, and he has no idea where it came from. So he can't even say, why did you throw that at me? Because there's plausible deniability, like, I didn't throw that at you. And he doesn't know which way it came from. You see what I mean? This is why there are so many employment laws, workplace laws, OSHA. This is why you guys have to take those courses every year that you hate so much, but they're mandatory compliance training. This is why. Because in the absence of that, this is what you do. You literally cannot be trusted to do the right thing. It's kind of amazing. You literally cannot be trusted to do the right thing ever, at any time. Your behavior has to be legislated at all times. All times. And anytime your behavior is not legislated, this is what you default to. You just cannot help yourselves. It's kind of incredible. Let's keep going.
Well, because he couldn't take a joke.
And that was purposeful because he couldn't take a joke. Here's one of the main takeaways I want especially you Jordan Peterson fans in the chat to hear. He does not have to take your joke. Just because you're offering something does not mean someone has to accept it. He does not have to take your joke. He was not hired to take jokes. He was hired to work. And just because you are offering something does not mean he has to accept it. That's called consent. You guys have real consent issues. You really do. You have consent issues. You think you have the right to impose yourself on other people. You really do. You think that it's your God-given right to impose yourself on others, and they need to take it. They better take it. You know, or else we'll up the ante on you if you don't take our joke. But I didn't ask for your joke, and I don't have to take just anything that's offered to me. I don't have to, because I guarantee you, if this guy had hit back on the first day, they would have hated him for that. They would have been like, oh, he's such a smart ass. Yeah, he's real rude. Oh, he's rude now? Now he's rude because he matched your joke with a joke and bested you, got the best of you. And now he's rude. I don't know if any of you recall me saying, oh gosh, hold on. Let me backtrack my thoughts really quick. He got the best of you and now they're mad. Dang, there was something I was about to say to that. I hope it comes back to me. If I can't remember it, I'll put it in the comments later. Let me just see if I can think through it real quick. Oh, it was so good. And we talked about it. I can't remember. I'll remember later. Let's keep going.
It's like, well, let's see if you can take this joke. Clunk, everybody.
Oh, wait, I got it sped up. Let me slow it down again. There we go. Clunk, and everybody go, ha, 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 you know? And then did you see where he said, well, he can't take a joke. Let's see if he can take this joke. So they up the ante. So in other words, I'm not allowed to just be to myself. I'm not allowed to exist. And the whole point of this channel is that we do have permission to exist and we don't have to tap dance for you. I am not your puppet, nor is anyone else. I don't have to take your joke. I don't have to find you amusing. I don't. I don't. Why don't you try to interact with me on a human level, and then maybe we'll work our way up to that level of relationship. To be able to tease people, you really have to have a relationship there first. You do. There's people I've known for years who I don't tease. I just don't tease because I just feel like our relationship just is not there for me to tease them. But there's other people who immediately, we start going at it. It's funny and we both love it and it's engaging and entertaining. You know what I mean? But there's other people in my life, I don't joke around with them like that at all. So to me, that indicates that I probably don't have that level of relationship with them. That level of trust is the word that I'm looking for. It's a trust issue. Okay. So let's go. So now, because he ignored the lunch bucket stuff, that irritated them because he didn't give them attention. This is very similar to how men behave when women are ignoring them. So you tried to get the pretty girl's attention. She ignored you. So now you start throwing insults at her because maybe the insults will get her attention.
And then he just got more and more peevish and the pebbles got bigger and bigger.
Oh, so it got more and more peevish and the pebbles got bigger and bigger. So now you're throwing rocks at him. Do you see how aggressive narcs can become when you don't feed into their nonsense? This is why I always say you have to get away from these people, y'all. You have to, if you can. I know it's not always possible, but if you can get away from narcissists, you have to, because this is what they do. They escalate it. They escalate it and escalate it and escalate it till they finally get a reaction out of you. Right?
And, a week later, lunch bucket was gone. Yeah,
because you were throwing rocks and stones at his head. Which is, I wonder what the statute of limitations is on this. I hope if it hasn't run out, I hope Dear Lunch Bucket will open up a post, You know, especially considering Peterson has millions now. Lunch Bucket, if you ever come across this live stream, go check the statute of limitations on that and pursue this heavily. Pursue it heavily. Pursue it to the ends of the earth. Because this man just admitted on an international forum that they physically assaulted a coworker and teased him because he couldn't take a joke. So because he couldn't take a joke, you did something that actually probably could have hurt him. Depending on the size of the rocks and the stones, you could have knocked him out. You could have knocked him unconscious. This is a construction site. You're not supposed to play around like that on construction sites. You're not supposed to be playing at all on construction sites. But you're out here throwing rocks and stones at your coworker's head, and y'all wonder, never mind, because this algorithm, let's go.
Having not learned anything from these.
Oh, so now he's not patronizing. Now he's chastising him, having not learned anything from the experience. In other words, learn from this. You showed up to our workplace. We made fun of you. You didn't like it. So we started throwing rocks and stones at your head. And you didn't like that either. So you need to learn from this. We did an entire series for all you new people in the chat, because I know you're just here for the first time, called Corporate Cults. You guys need to go watch the whole thing. You guys need to watch Corporate Cults from start to finish, from beginning to end. You do. Make a weekend of it. Go watch Corporate Cults, because this is all that this is, just at the construction level. You need to learn from this. This is why I didn't join a sorority, because this is how they are in sororities also. That's their full intention. You come in, you're brand new. Their intention is to break you first. They give you nicknames as well. Everyone gets a nickname in sororities. I think fraternities too, but I know for a fact sororities, everyone gets a nickname. They break you. They make you bow to the upper sorority members. And then if you can't chuck it, then it's your fault. So in other words, if you can't endure mistreatment and harassment and belittling, you know what I mean? And really the very attempt at the snatching of your soul, well, then that's your fault. And you need to learn from this. Learn from this. Next time when someone makes fun of you, you just need to laugh at the joke. Next time when people are throwing rocks at your head, turn around and throw the rock back at them.
Experience. But, you know, the men were testing him out. It's like.
The men were testing him out. It's like, can you take a joke? This is what I meant when I said men need permission to exist more than anything else. This is exactly what I was talking about.
Can you take a joke? Can you be useful?
Can you be useful? To whom? My employer or to you? Because I'm incredibly useful to my employer. And if you're my coworker and we're on the same team, then we'll be useful to the extent of teamwork, you understand? But I'm nobody's mule. You're not going to use me and leech from me. You're not. And I know that's what you want to do. And then look at this, y'all. Can you at least be amusing? It's like dance, puppet, dance. Do something. What do? Do you tap dance? Do you sing? Can you tell a joke? Like, well, can you take this rock to the head? Like, can you at least, like, do you see how he feels entitled? There it is. There it is. He feels entitled to this man's everything, really. Attention, interest, you know, he feels entitled to be entertained by him. Can you at least be amusing? I don't have to amuse you. I wasn't born to amuse you. I'm not here to amuse you. I'm here to work. I am here to work. I'm not here to amuse you and entertain you. I'm not your puppet. Boy, I wonder what race Lunch Bucket was. I wonder. He could have been a white guy. It's possible. But I'm real curious. Because I just, let's keep going.
Can you at least be amusing? Like, is there something worthwhile?
Wow. And like, is there something worthwhile about you? In other words, I don't see your value at all as a human being, period. I don't see your value on the basis of being human. All I see about you is the fact that I'm not entertained by you. I'm not amused by you. You can't even take a joke. I don't like you. And you're here for me to like you. You know, notice how he's not worried about being the same towards him. Do you think he finds you amusing? Do you think he finds you entertaining? Like he is probably not enjoying your company either, Jordan. And yet you feel like you're the one who is owed these things. And you're nothing more than his coworker. Do you guys see? Like, you are nothing more than his coworker who he just met. But narcissists feel entitled to your time, your attention, your energy, your interest, everything. And when you don't give it to them immediately, this is how they behave. They get angry, they get insulted, they get mean, they get mad because you're not giving them all these things. And in many cases, they are not owed those things. The only thing we owe to each other is common human decency and respect. That's it. That's the only thing that I owe you. And that's the only thing that you owe me. Common, basic human decency, dignity, and respect. That's all I can promise you. That's it. I promise you that as a human being, I will treat you with the utmost respect. And that's literally all I promise you. I do not promise you my friendship. I don't promise you my companionship. I am not your entertainer. I'm not your comedian. I am your coworker. You see what I mean? I don't owe you these things. He feels like these things are owed to him.
It's like, no, it's like, okay, well then you're up.
He said, it's like, no, well then it's like, okay, well then you're out of here. How many of you guys have had this experience at work? I think I've even talked about it on this channel. High performers will always fail with the narcissist. And now I know why. It has nothing to do with your job performance. It's the fact that I did not entertain them in the way they wanted to be entertained. They wanted me to tap dance and shuffle and, you know, two-step for them. And you know what I'm saying? Would you like a cold drink, sir? Would you like a cold drink, ma'am? Can I get your plate for you, ma'am? That's what they want. They want that shuck and jive. And when you refuse to give them shuck and jive and say, listen, I'm an adult just like you. I got bills just like you, girl. I am not tap dancing for you. Now, about these reports that you assigned to me, we can go line by line and discuss. No, you don't want to talk about the report? What? You want what? Like, and before you know it, everything starts to go downhill. This is why, guys, because what they're doing to you is the equivalent of throwing rocks at your head. They can't literally do it because these days you'll go to jail for that. At minimum, you know what I mean? You'll get arrested, get a little assault charge if you start throwing rocks at your coworker's head. So since they can't do it to you physically anymore, they do it to you psychologically. And now Jordan has been kind enough to lay out for us exactly how.
Out of here, because you never know when we actually might.
Oh, this is what it's about, because you never know when we might actually need to depend on you. Listen, depending on me from a work standpoint, and depending on me to take your harassment and provocation endlessly are not the same thing. No, you cannot depend on me to take your endless harassment. You cannot. But you can absolutely depend on me to do anything work related and get the job done and go above and beyond quite often, voluntarily. Don't even have to be forced. Just go above and beyond because that's who I am. You can depend on me for those things, but you cannot depend on me to be your personal ragdoll entertainment playmate. That's not what I'm here for. Oh, they get so angry when you don't let them do that to you. And he just told you that.
You need to depend on you.
Oh, because you never know it. You see how now here's where the psychological flip and the gaslighting is occurring. So he just detailed this really horrific account of how they treated this guy at work. And now he's trying to equate that to them being able to depend on him. They're not the same. They are absolutely not the same thing. They're not. Me being able to take your harassment is not the same as me being able to pull together in an emergency and get the job done. It's not the same thing. Because if it's an emergency, chances are we're all in trouble. So I'm definitely at minimum going to make sure that I'm okay. But me being okay makes sure that everyone is okay. That's the point. My point is, you cannot depend on me to take your harassment. No, you can't. And if that's what you need from me, then no, it's not going to work out. It's not. But everything work related, 100%. 100%. I got you.
The nicknames that are in the SEAL teams,
This guy.
I can't with good conscience repeat them.
I'm sure that's
because
true.
they're just horrible, horrible names.
Yeah, all of y'all need help. Like, look at him. Remember we were talking about demon brow? Like you can just tell that there's demons all over this guy and Jordan. Like, y'all need help. Y'all need extensive psychological counseling. You really do. This is not okay.
But there's a camaraderie around that. And there's also, as I was reading what you had written about these guys working.
He said there's a camaraderie around that, but don't the military guys come back with some of the deepest, most profound psychological issues the world has ever seen? Some of them never recover from what they went through overseas. So while there may be a camaraderie, and yeah, I'm sure that there are some friends for life that come out of that. There's definitely friends for life that come out of military relationships. But there's also a lot of profound mental health issues that comes from the military as well. And I wonder why. Maybe because you all have normalized dehumanizing people. You've normalized it. And you've made it part of bro culture, and you've made it part of male culture. But males have a lot of psychological problems right now. Men are not doing very well. This is why. The men of you in my chat who are Jordan fans, you need to go find and watch a video called Men Need Permission to Exist More Than Anyone Else.
On a railway
crew, yeah.
There's a test. It's a test. It's a test to see where you're at. It's what you're made of.
It's a test to see where you're at, what you're made of. So this guy is ex-military though. Jordan is on a rail crew. You see how they try to make everything military? They try to turn everything into a military brigade. They try to make everything war, including, putting the train on the tracks. It's war. Taking the train off the tracks, war. Walking around eating out of your lunchbox, war. Eating by yourself on Friday, war. Skipping out on happy hour, war. You see what I mean? Everything is war with these people. They can never come out of war mode.
Can we rely on you?
Can we rely on you? What does you picking on me have to do with you relying on me? They're not the same thing. If anything, you harassing me continuously is going to guarantee that you won't be able to rely on me because I won't be here. And you'll be down one person and you'll be busy trying to hire the next person you're going to harass out of the door. Why would you do that? As capitalists, I'm very disappointed in you guys because true capitalists don't like to waste even a penny. So when you sit here and allow your employees to harass employees out of the door, well, that's all that time, money, effort, and energy you spent interviewing them, screening their background, running drug tests, hiring them, getting them set up in payroll, getting them oriented or putting them through orientation, training them, getting them out on site or on the floor or wherever. We're at least 6 weeks in now. We're 6 weeks deep. You probably invested at least $10,000 before you even pay the people, just on the back end administration. And then you let people like Jordan Peterson harass your $10,000 investment out the door. As capitalists, I'm very disappointed in you. I don't think you're capitalists like you think you are. You put silly stuff like this over money. And that's how I know you're not a true capitalist, because you'd put whether or not someone can take your harassment over money. You're petty is what you know what you are? You are a petty capitalist. You're petty capitalists. That's what you are. You're petty capitalists. I have no respect for you.
Can you tolerate a little bit of irritation?
Can you tolerate a little bit of irritation? Yes, but not from you. Not intentional irritation. Irritation outside of our control, yes. Because in life, we're going to have to tolerate things that happen that are outside of our control. It's just a fact. But you know what's within our control? How we treat other people. And you can control what you're doing right now. This is not out of your control. You're not out of control. You appear to be of sound mind and body. So you can control this. So no, I cannot tolerate a little bit of irritation from you because it's not necessary. It's not needed and it's not part of the job. I just got to chill. This is like sick, high-level gaslighting. This is sick stuff.
The answer to that is no. It's like, well, maybe we don't want you around it.
And I don't want to be around you either, honey. This is why your companies fail, because you guys put all of your focus, effort, and energy into bothering people instead of actually doing what you're there to do. This is why your companies fold. This is why so many of your companies folded in the pandemic, because most of you put all of your time, effort, energy, and resources into bothering people instead of the mission at hand. What is the mission at hand? Notice he hasn't mentioned once what they were actually doing. What were y'all doing? Were you laying tracks? Were you picking up old tracks, putting down new ones? Were you receiving supplies? What were you actually doing? Notice he hasn't mentioned that once, because he's not focused on that. He's focused on the harassment of this individual.
And because some irritating things are likely to come down the pipe.
Yeah. Irritating things outside of our control, not irritating things within our control. And that is the difference. But you see how he's trying to make them the same? That's sick, high-level gaslighting there, Jordan.
Yeah, it's not just to me.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this lunch bucket? Is that tan skin? Let's move on.
It proves if you've got someone that can take it, right? It's not just that they can take some random joking insults. Like they can take it. They can take it.
Yeah.
So the nut that he's sitting across from just said that, you know, when you can take it, it's not like you can just take insults, but, you know, you can take it. So he's so simple that he thinks that if somebody can take jokes and insults, they can handle the stressors of life. That's an incredibly simplistic conclusion. So he can take my jokes. I made fun of his lunchbox. I threw rocks at his head and he was like, guys, come on. And you think because he can take that, he can handle some crisis situation down the road. You're an idiot. A short-sighted idiot too. And once again, this is why so many of your businesses fold, because you all put value on the wrong qualities. You put value on the quality of being able to take a joke versus actually do the job. This is why your businesses fold. You deserve everything you get. Everything.
That's what you're testing for. It's like, can you take it? Lunch bucket couldn't, right? Because people would.
Oh, it's not tan. He's just a deep South, a good old boy.
Laugh at his lunch bucket and he'd get all upset. It's like, well, you have a stupid lunch bucket.
Now, who made you the decider of that, though? Do you see how he decides that he's the one who sets the tone for what is appropriate and what's not? Like Jordan, who died and made you arbiter of correctness and, well, you have a stupid lunch bucket. What? He hasn't even described it. Like, I wish he would at least describe it. Like, what was it? Winnie the Pooh? Like, what was it? What made it so stupid? What was so stupid about it? Tell us. Tell us. Like, I've never looked at anyone's lunch. I don't call them lunch bucket. He's making me forget what we used to call them now. Lunch boxes is what we used to call them. I've never looked at anyone's lunchbox and been like, ugh, that is the stupidest lunchbox I've ever seen. Oh my God. Yeah, they dehumanize with their nicknames. Yes. Oh my God, that is the stupidest lunchbox I've ever. Did you see her lunchbox? Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, who would carry a lunchbox like that? Like, oh my God. Like, how embarrassing. Like, I can't believe her mother let her leave the house with a stupid lunch bucket like that. Like, oh my God. Like, let's make fun of it. Like, and here's the whole thing. Were you making fun of it so he could ultimately become your friend? Because it sure didn't seem like it. It didn't seem like you were picking on him to bring him in. It seemed like you were just picking on him to be picking on him, just making fun of him to be making fun of him, just for the sake of it. Not to make him part of the group, not to basically jump him in, if you will. You were just bothering him to be bothering him. It was just something to do. But once again, who are you to decide that his lunch bucket was stupid? What if he decided your little trash bag, brown lunch bag was stupid? See, they don't like me because if someone started making fun of my lunchbox or lunch bucket or whatever, I'd be like, yep. And I'd be like, and that soggy trash bag is getting ready to fall through on the bottom too. You might want to put it in another one. have a nice day. And then they get mad. They get angry. So later on, he's getting ready to tell us how Lunch Bucket should have just hit back and it would have been all good. That's not true. Because anytime I've hit back these narcs, that's what I was going to say earlier. These people are more sensitive than they let on, you guys. They try to act all tough and all hard. That's what I was going to say. I know one time I mentioned to you guys before that you could crush a narcissist with an insult. You could absolutely, literally collapse them in less than 10 seconds. And you know this. But because you're actually a dignified, decent human being, you don't do it because you don't go around just crushing and collapsing people for fun. So I say that to say that all the narcissists that have ever behaved this way towards me, they've all had what I consider to be an Achilles heel, basically. That one thing that if I even so much as come close to mentioning it, they will go into full meltdown mode. They will vacate the room. They will hang up the phone. They'll end the conversation. So it's like, for someone who likes to pick on people so much, you sure are sensitive. They all have an Achilles heel, baby. Every single one of them. And I know all of their Achilles heels. And I choose not to do it because what they do to us, they cannot take. They can't take it back. They think they can, but they really can't. So if I go after your Achilles heel, you might try to fight me. And I'm not even hitting below the belt. I'm just hitting your Achilles heel, which technically is below the belt. It's on your foot, but that's besides the point. The point is, I know your biggest weakness, and I choose not to pick on you about it because I'm a decent person, but you choose to pick on me about every little thing, and I'm supposed to just take it. So I mentioned that somewhere, and I'm so glad I remembered. But yeah, you could literally destroy a narcissist probably with one sentence. One. And I would give some examples, but let's go.
It's like, your mom packed it. How about you laugh at yourself? Yeah, my mom packed this. I know it's kind of stupid. That would be the end of it. He would have just...
He said that would have been the end of it if he was like, yeah, my mom packed it. Her. No, it wouldn't have. You would have continuously harassed him day in and day out about that stupid lunchbox. Lunch bucket. Now he's, that's so weird. What a weird thing to call it. Lunch bucket.
You just had to say that. Yeah. It's like, but I didn't want to hurt her feelings.
Like, what? But I didn't want to hurt her feel. Like, did his mom even pack the lunch? Like, he is literally designing an entire scenario around a speculation. He said it looks like his mom packed it. Doesn't mean his mom did. It could have been his girlfriend, his wife, maybe even his daughter. I don't know how old these people were. But now he's having a conversation and an imaginary cause reaction scenario to something that he doesn't even know to be fact. This is what they do, you guys. Thank you so much for the super chat, Diana. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it so much. I didn't want to hurt whose feelings? Like, they literally, he's designing a scenario that doesn't exist.
It's like, oh, okay, fine, you got your stupid lunch bucket, but no, he couldn't handle that. So yeah, it was horrible.
So yeah, it was horrible and comical. Guys, they will tell you, they will confess. He knows this is bad. So yeah, it was horrible and comical. So this is awful, but he's focused on the fact that this guy couldn't take a joke. And then the way he's going to try to dress it up, we're not going to watch that part, but the way he's going to try to dress it up is by saying, well, people say I sound like Kermit. Y'all, that's the reason I can't listen to Jordan Peterson. So I actually didn't know he was going to say that. But since he said it, I'll go ahead and say it. Earlier, when I started the video, I said there's several reasons I can't watch Jordan Peterson. One I wouldn't mention because it's kind of mean. And the other was because his premises are just so flawed that my brain just disconnects and kind of shorts out when it hears such broken logic. But the other reason is because I can't stand the sound of his voice. I hate it. I just want him to clear his throat. That's all. Since he's so busy telling people how they need to eat their lunch. Well, Jordan, I need you to clear your throat. Clear your throat. Go just like that. Just like that. Clear your throat, take a deep breath, put it in your diaphragm. Kick it in your diaphragm and speak from your diaphragm. That's what I want from you, Jordan. Since we're dictating to people how to live their lives and how to eat their food and what type of lunch boxes they can carry, what I want from you, a grown adult male, is to take a deep breath, put some bass in it, clear your throat, and probably need to clear your sinuses too. And speak, son. Speak like you're not terrified. Can you do that?
Terrible and comical to watch at the same time, because the level of, and people have written me about that, and they said, oh, poor lunch bucket. It's like, because they're all compassionate. I think, no, not poor lunch bucket. It's like, clue the hell in, buddy.
What a demon. He said, no. He said, people write me because they're all compassionate and they're like, oh, poor lunch bucket. And I'm like, no, not poor lunch bucket. Clue the hell in, buddy. Fall in line, soldier. And again, Jordan, who are you? You are his co-worker. It's not acceptable from anyone, not even his boss, but it's certainly not acceptable from you. You are nobody to him. Who are you? You see how he just decided that he's over this man? That's why I keep questioning his race, because typically, I don't know that y'all do that to each other, too tough white men, that is. Another white man will put you in your place. Say, hey, listen here, buddy. Well, listen here, buddy. My grandmother packed me this lunch, as a matter of fact, and you're going to back off, pal. But the fact that you automatically placed yourself in a superiority position over him makes me very curious. And I'm not turning this into a race thing. I'm just asking. It's very strange behavior towards somebody you just met, unless you feel like they're beneath you in some way.
You had your chance.
Ooh, you had your chance.
That was a desirable job, that rail crew job in the summer, because it was high paying, and they weren't easy to come by, those jobs. And so the fact that he got hired onto that crew was a real opportunity for him.
Oh, it was a real opportunity. I want y'all to be able to hear when people are lying. It's hard for me to describe, but it's when he goes, and it was a real opportunity for him. It's the intonation. It kind of goes up and back down. I want you to listen for it, because I'm going to start teaching you all how to learn when people are actually lying to you, because I know a lot of you can't hear it. I'm going to scroll it back just a little bit, and I want you to hear, well, it was a real opportunity for him. He's lying. He's trying to clean it up. In other words, he should have been grateful for that job and taken any type of treatment that he got. He should have been grateful for it. It was a real opportunity for him. Listen to this lie. Listen.
It was high paying. And they weren't easy to come by, those jobs. And so the fact that he got hired onto that crew was a real opportunity for him. You could make a pile of money in the summer working on the rail crew. And all you had to do was take some ribbing with good grace. I thought all I had to do was what I was hired to do, move the rails. I thought that's why we were here. You see how narcissists try to turn every workplace into something more than it is? You see how they try to make it more than what it actually is, which is work? This is why everyone working from home is driving them crazy. This is why they demand that you come on camera, because they cannot stand the fact that they can't bother you in person right now, that they don't have control over the type of lunchbox you bring in and what shoes you wore that day and the way you held your face in the meeting. Like, they love that kind of stuff. It gives them something to latch onto and something to bother. But if you're home and as soon as the meeting ends, they can't see you anymore. They don't know what you're eating, what you're doing with your hands, your time, your face. They cannot take it, because all they live to do is bother people and latch on and succubus from other people, siphon from other people. take some ribbing with good grace, not suck up to the management too badly.
So on top of all of that, you have to manage your relationship with management. So take our harassment. Don't you dare suck up to management. And what was the third requirement?
And
not have other people do your job. Well, I agree with that. No one should be doing your job for you. Your job is your job, and their job is their job, and our job, when it happens, is our job. But no one else should be doing your work for you. So that I agree with. But his other two qualifiers were take some ribbing with good grace. So take the abuse. Don't suck up to management, which is so interesting. In other words, God, this is so psychologically screwed, man. So in other words, they better not see you getting cozy with management. Like, if this doesn't sound like an abusive relationship to you, I don't know what would or does. So why not? He never went into that. Why can't I get in good with management? Because you don't ever want me to become a manager? You don't ever want to run the risk that I might be your manager one day? You don't want to run that risk, do you? Right. So you better not see me. So from what I understand, this would be the situation. Let's assume Lunch Bucket actually could take the jokes and he didn't care and he threw jokes back and it was all good, right? So Lunch Bucket gets a check mark right there. But if they see Lunch Bucket cozying up to management, who clearly Jordan was not part of, Lunch Bucket is going to get the rocks at his head again, you see? So that's why you can't negotiate with terrorists, because all they ever do is up the ante, you see? So if Lunch Bucket took the jokes, took the harassment, didn't care or whatever, or cared but didn't show it, but he made the mistake of sucking up to management or appearing to suck up to management, they're going to start to harass him there. So the same harassment he endured for the jokes, he would have endured if he didn't, or if he was caught sucking up to management. How very controlling. You're a very controlling person. Very controlling. This is incredibly controlling behavior. This is controlling. Like, they're trying to dictate to this man how he lives his life at work every day. And what did I say about that? Narcissists are always trying to determine your environment for you, just like the weather does. The weather determines what kind of day you're going to have in terms of if it's going to be sunny, cold, rainy, windy, whatever. The weather determines that for you and you work around it. Narcissists want to be your weather system. They want to be your own personal weather system. Remember all those depression commercials they used to show back in the day? And it would show the little animated person with the cloud walking with them over their head. And then they took the antidepressant medicine and the cloud would like go away. Remember that commercial? Yeah, narcs want to be that little cloud that's walking with you down the street. And you're all hunched over and sad and depressed. And they're just right over your head, raining right down on you. That's exactly who and what they want to be to you and for you.
Not have other people do your job. That was all.
That was it, huh? Oh, okay.
But he couldn't do that, and so he got run off.
But he couldn't do that, and so he got run off. Y'all, he's admitting to workplace harassment. I wonder what the statute of limitations is in Canada. I assume this happened he said this happened in southern Saskatchewan. I wonder what the statute of limitations is. Lunch Bucket, I pray to God, somehow you hear this video, come across this video, something. And I pray that you sue this man for millions of dollars for duress, stress, workplace harassment. Sue the company too for the toleration of it. They tolerated it. You know, clearly this was a company culture. And and he just said, so he got run off. So this is why, by the way, we need UBI, universal basic income. Because there are people like Lunch Bucket out here in this world just trying to go out here and work and make a living and earn an honest living. And they can't do it because they keep running into people like Jordan Peterson in the workplace. And just like Jordan just said, he couldn't take it, so he got run off. Notice yes, he did. He said that he would whine when he got asked to do something, but he did not clarify who was asking him. And what exactly were you asking him to do? Were you asking him to go get your lunch for you? And he said no. Were you asking him to go down 10 flights and go get something out of your car for you and bring it to you? And he said no. What were you asking him to do that he was whining about? You got to be more clear. See, narcs like to leave out a lot of details because it gives them plausible deniability. But anyway, Lunch Bucket, I really sincerely hope that you hear this, see this, and sue the pants off of this man. Sue him for millions of dollars because he's making millions off of teaching people how to do the same thing to other people that they did to you. And he's trying to normalize it and he's trying to make it okay. And it's not. So he needs to, yes, be deplatformed. I said it. You saw it in the title and I just said it again. Be deplatformed, censured. Since we're into censuring people lately, he needs to be censured, deplatformed, And we need to do a lot of deprogramming work. I need to dive into more of his work and do some more debunking. I didn't realize it was this bad because I can never watch it.
And it was like, grow the hell up, buddy.
Grow the hell up, buddy. Ah, what a boomer. Grow the hell up, buddy. Ah, buddy. Grow the hell up, buddy. Grow the hell up. You're the one throwing rocks at me. Bro, you're telling me to grow up, but you're the one literally recruiting people to throw rocks at me from random corners of the job site. But I need to grow up. I need to grow up, but you're the one who became fixated on my lunchbox on day one of me getting here and harassed me about it until you started throwing rocks at me. But I'm the one who needs to grow up. Whoo.
You know, these guys, when 100 people are teasing you.
Oh, now this is bad, you guys. This is so bad. I have to say the word because we just have to. We have a culture of bullying, and we have a bullying epidemic, which I imagine is a little bit better this past year because the kids haven't been in school really. So once again, they're not in person to bother each other. You understand? But in a society that is struggling with the bullying epidemic, the fact that he would say, when 100 people are teasing you, they're probably right, is one of the most dangerous things I've ever heard an influencer say on YouTube. But y'all are out here taking people's videos down for teaching about a cult that's sweeping the minds of these people, just telling people what it is. That video gets snatched down. But Jordan Peterson is allowed to say, when 100 people are teasing you, they're probably right.
Then probably they're not wrong.
Then probably they're not wrong. I'm sorry. When 100 people are teasing you, then they're probably not wrong. When we have kids committing acts of self-harm as a result of the bullying that they're enduring at school, 100 people teasing them at school, 100 people teasing them online. And some of these children are choosing to exit altogether to escape it. And you all let this video stay up. And not only do you let this video stay up, it's monetized. But that's okay. It's just a little documentation. Let's keep going.
Grow the hell up, buddy. You know, these guys, when 100 people are teasing you, then probably they're not wrong.
Wow. So that is groupthink, basically. So Jordan Peterson just endorsed groupthink. In other words, if 100 people are making fun of you, then probably they're not wrong. And the truth of the matter is every single one of them could be wrong. Every single one of them could be wrong. This is why it's so important to know the truth about yourself. I think I did this on a video called Recovering Your Self-Esteem from Narcissistic Mistreatment. And I said, you have to know the truth about yourself. You have to, because if you don't know the truth about yourself, you will be more susceptible to this. But it doesn't matter if 1,000 people are teasing you. It is possible that all 1,000 of them are wrong, especially if they're basing it off of an incorrect premise. Like y'all just made up a story in your heads and you ran with it. And you know, isn't Jordan Peterson part of like the fake news crowd? Aren't they always screaming and hollering about the media and fake news and this and that? Well, that's fake news, honey. You know, just because 1,000 people say something doesn't mean it's true. An idea can take off like that. A rumor can take off like that. Like anything can take off these days. And he's basically saying if more than one person are saying it, then it's got to be true. Which also goes to the reverse, which is if no one has ever said it before, then it's not true. So if you were to bring an issue to Jordan Peterson and he's never heard someone tell him that before, he's going to tell you that's not true. No one has ever said that to me before. And you know what my response is? Every time someone says that, I said, someone just did. Oh, well, that's not true. No one's ever said that to me before. Yeah? Well, someone just did. But you just can't be the first is all. You can't be the first person to tell them. It has to be like the 14th or 15th or 16th person to tell them, you know. So it works both ways. But anyway, the broken logic works both ways is what I'm saying. If all these people are saying it, it must be true. And if no one is saying it, then it must not be true. That's the broken logic. And it's very simple, but most broken logic is simple. It's too simple. And then they all start laughing.
Yeah, when you are getting teased like that as well, when you stop reacting, it's no longer fun.
He said, when you are getting teased like that as well, when you stop reacting, it's no longer fun. Like, I feel like I could just hang it up now and be like, all right, guys, well, it's been a great run. Take it easy. You know, good luck out there in these streets, you know, because I feel like like how many times have we discussed this? They cannot stand it when you don't react to them. And see, it's supposed to be fun for him. You are supposed to be fun for him. And when you're not for him, not fun. And now you got to go because you're not fun. You're not fun. You're not fun anymore. It's like, well, what happened? It's like, you're just not fun. You're no fun. It's like, I'm not designed to be fun for you. I wasn't born to be fun for you. When my mother held me in her arms for the first time, she didn't look down at me, her newborn, and say, I hope you are so much fun for other people. My precious newborn baby, I hope you are so much fun for this guy on the screen. I hope some 30 some odd years from now, you grow up to be the most fun person for other people. I really hope you entertain them. And I really hope that you make their day everywhere that you go. No parent says that. Yeah, the gray rock method. That gray rock method, you see how he's admitting, like, when you do that to me, when you gray rock me, it's no longer fun for me. But then you see what their next step is, which is to get you out of there. Because in their mind, they're entitled to your fun.
Yeah. Well, it also gives you an opportunity to tease back.
It sure does, but you don't have to, though. That's the thing. Like, what if you don't like to tease people? What if you really hurt people's feelings when you tease people? So you don't tease them because you know they're sensitive and soft and delicate as snowflakes. You know that. You know that anyone who's brazen enough to tease someone they just met is probably a glass house and very ignorant and very dumb. And in that ignorance and stupidity, they've got a lot of weak spots that they're very insecure about. And you know this within a matter of minutes. So you choose to take the higher road. He said, grow the hell up, buddy. I think I did, because I'm not engaging with you at all. You are a child. I'm an adult. And I don't engage with children at work. Like, I'm not a daycare. I'm not a daycare owner.
It's like, you can show your wit. And one of the things that working class guys in particular, which is one of the things I really loved about working class jobs, is that they're always looking for some humor.
Okay. Well, listen, it's nobody's job to provide the humor, honey. We're all always looking for some humor. But I don't walk into my workplace, especially not my brand new workplace, going, boy, I hope they provide me some humor. And I don't look at any new hires that come in and go, well, I sure hope they're fun. You know what I think when I see a new hire? I would think, God, I hope that we can get them on board and get them trained. I hope they stay. I hope they like it, you know, like, because the whole reason you're hiring somebody is because you need help, right? You're not hiring people for fun, right? So when I see new hires, I'm like, oh, thank God. Thank God. Help is on the way. Help is coming. Thank God. And hopefully maybe we'll become friends later, but friendship is no guarantee. I'm not guaranteeing you my friendship. And I feel like a lot of people expect that out of you. Like, okay, well, we work together, so we go together now. It's like, wait, what? It's like, well, I sit next to you, so we go together now. It's like, well, no. We just met. I'd like to get to know you first. It's like, what do you mean get to know you? I sit right next to you. We go together. And we do not go together. Let's talk through this. So anyway, let's keep going.
So it's like if person A is teasing person B, that's kind of comical. But if person B comes back with a good comeback,
person A is going to crumble into the floor and have a narcissistic injury and get mad and then proceed to sabotage you until you leave. That's what person A is going to do, because person A never expected you to actually hit back.
It's like that's
They never
better,
do.
you know. So I think that's a lot of how those jobs are rendered tolerable, right? It's they're hard, dirty jobs.
Right.
Dishwasher is a good example. That's not dangerous, although cooking is you know, you gotta watch your step.
So y'all harassing each other as dishwashers too? Y'all can't even let dishwashers be? Oh my God. You need to get lives. That's the problem. Y'all don't have lives. It sounds to me that your life is at work. And that is the problem. You don't have a life. You need to get a life. You need to find interest in your own life. You really do. And when you start to find interest in your own life, you will do less and less of this stuff.
I got burned a lot when I was cooking. But
I bet you did get burned a lot when you were cooking because you were so focused on other people's lunch boxes.
what makes those jobs not only tolerable, but even desirable is that you can develop a tremendous amount of camaraderie around them.
Sure.
I've never really experienced that.
And guess what? I've developed camaraderie at jobs without degrading, belittling, and harassing my peers. Like, we find a lot of humor and entertainment and all kinds of stuff that doesn't involve making fun of people and picking on people and belittling them and tearing them down to build them up. That's what the sororities used to say. We tear you down to build you up. I'm like, girl, I'm not going to let you destroy me just to build me back up, because then that makes you my God. Understand that any entity that can destroy you and then restore you is your God or is a God, one or the other. Only God can collapse you and destroy you and then repair you. Yeah, I know y'all wouldn't know nothing about that. Most of you Jordan folks, strange.
At a professional level job, that just doesn't happen the same way. And it's really, there's a real loss in that. So it's fun to be part of a...
That's one of their favorite words, team. You know why they love team so much? Because it's a group of people that's kind of like guaranteed to them. So like every day I know I'm going to see this little group of people and bother them and bug them, you know? Kind of like, have you all ever seen little kids who have a teacher that they really like? And like as soon as that little kid gets to school, they start combing the campus looking for their favorite teacher. Then they finally find them. And the teacher's like, what you want, little boy or little girl? And they're like, nothing. Just wanted to see what you were doing. It's like, go to class. I'm not doing anything. Go to class. Can I just stay here with you? No, go to class. But it's the same thing. But it's different with children because they're little. So you expect kids to kind of develop those little attachments to their favorite people. But these people never grew out of it. So they love teams because teams are like their people. Teams are like a fish tank full of fish in your house. You go and you stand there and you admire the fish and you look at them. You see what they're doing, see what they're up to, see what their little exploits are for the day. Feed them a little bit, watch them go get the food, and then you walk off. Same thing. Except notice that they're on the outside of the tank and you're on the inside. Just notice that.
Team that's doing, grubby, hands-on things and having a ridiculously entertaining, vicious, cruel. This sounds like my theme park. Have a ridiculously entertaining, vicious, cruel, and evil time. Well,
an evil time while you're doing it. I'm done. I think it's time for me to retire. I think I've made all my points. I really feel like, dang, I don't have any on ice. I really feel like my work here is done. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, these people confess. They tell you exactly who they are, exactly their intent. He said, have a ridiculously fun, vicious, evil, cruel, evil time while you're doing it. You are a demon. I have never, the friends that I have that trust level with, where we tease each other, I've never teased them with evil intent. Never. I've never been vicious towards them. I've never been cruel towards them. And the ones who we do tease each other, they've never been that way towards me, or we wouldn't be friends. because there's an element of sadism there. Like something is wrong. No, it's never mind. That's mean. I was going to say, no wonder he attracted himself. And I'm just going to stop it there. Maybe you can figure out the rest, but I'll be nice tonight. Nicer. But yeah, have a vicious, entertaining, vicious, cruel, and evil time while you're doing it. So, oh, I don't care. They can downvote. Listen, downvote until your heart is content. It doesn't stop the fact that I'm saying this about your master. So does Jordan fall first or second under Trump? I'm curious. Does Jordan supersede Trump, or does Jordan fall right up under Trump, or is Jordan like right in line with Trump in you guys' eyes? Just curious. Because y'all worship the ground this man walks on. Tell him to clear his throat.
Well, you're doing it. That's very entertaining.
Very entertaining. And I wonder whatever became of Lunch Bucket. Whatever happened to this guy. You know what I mean?
I had an experience with that.
Is he about to talk about
3
Kermit?
years ago, I put my video.
Yeah, he's all right. So he's getting ready to tell Kermit's story. Don't care. Clear your throat. Put some bass in your voice. So guys, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I know that a lot of them are over here right now. I don't know where you came from, or if there's some sort of bot or app you have installed in your phone that says every time a video about Jordan goes up, you just rush over there. Don't know, but also don't care. I spoke on your master this evening. This is a very sick video. He is encouraging the type of behavior that leads to all kinds of consequences that you guys like to cry about and meme about later after it has happened. But no one ever likes to talk about what led up to that. We've been talking about antagonism recently on this show and what different types of outcomes antagonism can lead to. This is antagonism. You cannot antagonize people. You can't do that. You have no right to. And then get mad when they retaliate, when they finally have had enough and get fed up with you. But this is one of the purest forms of narcissism in terms of an example that I've ever seen, from the controlling nature, how they desire to control everything about you, from how you take a joke or don't, to how you bring your lunchbox or don't, to how you respond to rocks getting thrown at your head or don't. So the controlling nature, the sense of them getting irritated when you gray rock them. So it shows you that it works. It does work, because the other one told Jordan, yeah, because when you stop reacting, it's no fun. So it's no fun for them when you stop reacting to them, you see? And they're really sad about it too. Like you saw, he kind of got sullen when he said that. So they're very controlling. They hate being gray rocked. They want to micromanage like your reactions, your everything. They want to be your weather system, your personal weather system. They expect to be entertained by you. They expect you to engage with them. And engagement truly is a consensual thing. Engagement has to deal with consent. I do not have to engage with you to the extent that it doesn't affect our work. Like if we work together and we have to communicate, I'm not going to sit there and ignore you when we're supposed to be working, but I don't have to entertain you. I don't have to be your friend. I have permission to exist. I wasn't born for you. I don't exist for you, and nor do you for I. You do not exist for me. You were not born for me. And that is one of the big takeaways from this channel. Narcissists think you are born for them specifically. I've done a video called Narcissists Try to Possess You. And when I use the term possess, I don't mean in the demonic sense, although that could be argued. When I use the term possess, I'm speaking in the sense of a possession. Like you desire to possess that car or possess that house or whatever. They desire to possess you. They desire to own you. And he really just laid that out for you crystal clear. He showed you how They will run you out of an organization when you don't play nice with them. So again, has nothing to do with your performance and everything to do with your willingness to tap dance for these people. Tap for me, dance, do something. Do you have any worth at all? What do you do? You know, are you useful? You know what I mean? And it's kind of, oh, this is so bad. This is bad. And on top of all that, he proclaims to have an understanding of psychology and psychotherapy. An understanding, but not according to knowledge. No. A zeal, but not according to knowledge. Part of what I'm going to discuss in my mega stream called Academic PTSD is how most of these people have no ability to synthesize all these ideas. So they spend years and years and years reading all of these books, putting all these thoughts together, writing all of these papers, but literally they never connected the dots between it all. They never can take a step back from it all and go, so what does this all mean then? Everything that I just read, what does this all mean? When I put it all together, what is the story telling me? All they can really do is recite what they've read, but they don't really truly fundamentally understand it at a heart, mind, or core level. They really don't. And it shows in every way, because the fact that you think that you are entitled to get entertainment and attention from someone you just met who does not have to give those things to you tells me you, sir, have consent issues. You do. So PTE is sold out. Are you out of your mind? I've never liked Jordan Peterson. I just never talk about him. He's not like, I don't consume his content. I don't find it interesting, intriguing, or insightful. The little bit that I've seen of him, literally, I can usually only do about 3 or 4 minutes. That's it. PTE sold out to who? Because I'm talking about Jordan Peterson. See, the problem is you guys do the same thing to me that I'm talking about in this video. You all assign meaning to me. So like many of you assigned conservative, you assigned Republican to me. And clearly you guys thought for some ungodly reason that I would be supportive of Jordan Peterson. Jordan just told everybody that they bullied and harassed a guy out of work. Why would I ever support that? Why? Yeah, half of these people have never been here before. So anyway, with that, I'm going to go ahead and close, not going through the comments because I know they're littered with all the bots trying to defend this man, trying to defend why he bullied some guy the first day on the job. And then when he didn't respond to that, you escalated it to physical harassment. Now, let me ask you this. If Lunchbox saw who threw that rock, went over and punched that guy in the jaw, would Lunchbox be wrong for that? Would Lunchbox be wrong if he saw who did it, went over and socked him right in his jaw? Would he be wrong for that? You keep upping the ante, so let's up the ante, right? Y'all are going to learn to stop antagonizing people. You're going to get enough of it. I feel like the energy is shifting to where all the bullies are getting ready to get their just due very soon if it hasn't started already. And with that, that is my opinion. I stand by it. This man needs to be deplatformed. I find him to be dangerous and detrimental, especially to the minds of young men who follow this man for some reason. Y'all are always talking about alpha males, but this man does not scream alpha male to me at all. At all. If you have to bully someone over their lunchbox, you think that's an alpha male? You're lost. You're lost in the sauce. And with that, I'm gone, you guys. Have a great evening. Bye.